Now to some breaking news. The Pentagon has just approved sending an additional 1,000 U.S. troops to the Middle East. Also today, the Pentagon released new images, which it says provides further evidence that Iran was behind the attacks on 2 tankers last week. David Martin has late details.
The 2 tankers could be seen from space today at anchor in the Gulf of Oman, and one of them up close in high-resolution photos taken from a U.S. Navy helicopter several hours after the explosions, which disabled them. An Iranian patrol boat is alongside the tanker and, according to the Pentagon, removes an unexploded mine attached to the hull. These photos show one of the magnets officials say was used to attach the mine to the hull, still stuck to the ship. The same scene was recorded in grainy video by a U.S. patrol plane and released last week to back up U.S. claims Iran is responsible for the attack. Many allies remain unconvinced, but the Democratic chairman of the House Intelligence Committee says there's no question Iran is to blame.
I think the evidence is very strong and compelling. In fact, I think this was a Class A screw-up by Iran to insert a mine on the ship. It didn't detonate. They had to go back and retrieve it.
As the U.S. worked to build its case, Iran announced it is increasing production of uranium, and by next week will be over the limit it is allowed to stockpile under an agreement signed by the Obama administration but disowned by the Trump administration. Iran and the other countries which signed it have continued to abide by the treaty until now. It was supposed to keep Iran at least a year away from having enough uranium to build a bomb. Daryl Kimball of the Arms Control Association says breaching the treaty will still leave Iran several months away.
They're going to be getting closer, but Iran is calibrating each of these steps to create political leverage. They're not racing towards the bomb quite yet.
Secretary of State Pompeo, who has been the point man in this confrontation with Iran, is scheduled to visit the headquarters which controls U.S. military operations in the Middle East tomorrow. Maurice?
David Martin at the Pentagon. Thank you very much.
The United States is to deploy another 1,000 troops to the Middle East as tensions rise with Iran. The U.S. military has released what it says is further proof that Iran was behind the attacks on 2 oil tankers in the Gulf of Oman last week. The government in Tehran has denied any involvement. Our North America correspondent Peter Bowes reports.
More evidence that Iran is to blame. These are the photographs the Pentagon says offer further proof that the attacks on 2 tankers in the Gulf of Oman were carried out by Iranian forces. This image shows what the US military describes as the remnants of the magnetic attachment device of an unexploded limpet mine placed on one of the tankers. The Pentagon says it proves that Iran has the resources and proficiency needed to quickly remove the unexploded mine. Iran continues to deny any involvement in the attacks. Announcing a further 1,000 troops to be sent to the Middle East, the acting US Secretary of Defense Patrick Shanahan said the recent Iranian attacks validated credible intelligence on hostile behavior by Iranian forces threatening United States personnel and interests across the region. The extra troops come on top of 1,500 announced last month. The US military says their role will be defensive, addressing air, naval and ground-based threats. The US is insisting it does not seek conflict with Iran, but with tensions rising, the region is looking increasingly unstable. Peter Bowes, BBC News.